pleased to welcome Mr. Aaron Price, President and CEO of New Jersey Tech Council and the founder of Propelify. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
As we do this program, it's only been a couple months since you've been head of this organization.
Yeah, 6 weeks or so.
What do these folks do?
So the New Jersey Tech Council is the largest representation of innovators in the state of New Jersey, both small and large, and has recently acquired my startup, Propelify, which represents one of the largest communities of entrepreneurs in the country. We're best known for this 8,000-person event that we have called the Propelify Innovation Festival.
Is that the event in Hoboken?
That's the event on Pier A in Hoboken, outside. 2 talks of stages, drones, VCs, VR, music, food, drinks, people not dressed in ties. It's a good time.
I knew I was going to take a hit. So if I were going to do a tech startup, this is not the appropriate dress.
Most likely you would be way overdressed. Yeah.
Okay, let's be serious for a second.
Sure.
Here's what's fascinating to me. This is part of an ongoing conversation. We're doing a series of programs called The Future of Innovation.
Yeah.
New Jersey and innovation. We live in Montclair next to West Orange. I see the Edison, everything going on, the factory, where the work was going on there, the museum. Where are we today when it comes to innovation in terms of how much innovation is going on, A, and B, what needs to take place to create even more innovation?
I think we're at a really exciting time for New Jersey. I've run this large event now. We're going on our 4th year.
Right.
And the first year this happened, people thought I was crazy. Who's ever going to come to Hoboken for this thing? I hoped we'd get 3,000 attendees. We had 8, and we've been growing each year. And so I see that the state's really matured in how we can help startups and innovators grow. I think the future is very bright, and we're at a time now where there's a lot of opportunity for how we define sort of the next generation of the economy. So having the governor on our side, so to speak, vocally supportive.
What does that mean? What has the governor done, Governor Murphy, in terms of promoting innovation?
I mean, it shouldn't go unnoticed that just showing up and speaking about it is actually a significant step. Other governors have not always been so supportive and paid attention. So that's sort of an easy win, but it's really important that it makes us part of the conversation. The other is he's put the EDA to work with some programs.
Economic Development Authority.
That's right.
Again, one of our colleagues and partners in this Future of Innovation series. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's put the New Jersey Economic Development Authority to work to be very thoughtful in how can we accelerate the process. So there's a variety of things they've done to help companies get funding for workspace, funding to grow, funding for employees. He just recently increased the angel tax credit so that...
What does that mean, angel tax credit? So there's an angel investor, he or she... By the way, does that mean that person is not recognized?
That person is not recognized as what?
Well, angel investor.
An angel investor is an individual who invests their personal dollars into something, into in this case, a startup.
So what's the tax?
The tax credit is a certain percentage of that investment comes off as a deferment against their tax bill. And so it's a good incentive to increase or to incentivize individual investors to put their money to work in the state. Because we do tend to lose a lot of investment capital across the river, down in Philly. As I was saying, I think there's a real opportunity for us to define what the future is. Investment capital is highly needed. There's not enough capital in the state put to work. And so this is one way to help drive that.
So let me ask you this. That's attracting. But Aaron, in terms of retaining really talented, creative entrepreneurs, innovators, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep some of them.
It is.
Because?
For a lot of reasons. I mean, one, sometimes the profile of entrepreneurs, certainly in the tech world, tends to be a bit younger, and they're more drawn to New York. And so my argument is, let's lean in on the things that New Jersey can be best at and create an environment and create programs that those businesses will thrive and have a leg up if they're involved with Propelify or now the New Jersey Tech Council.
Geography matters as well, it seems to me, because we're, again, a few miles, maybe a mile or so away from the folks at New Jersey Institute of Technology. We actually shot a special series over there on the Voice Summit. Check out our website for those Voice Summit programs. My point is this. Innovation and urban communities, to quote Tom Kane, perfect together, or it has nothing to do with geography?
I think geography matters a little bit less, but the talent pool often exists in the urban environment. But I think what's interesting about modern tech companies is that the geography is really, like, the ability to launch something quickly and for relatively small investment kind of neutralizes the geographic element. You don't have to necessarily be where your customers are. You don't even necessarily have to be where your investors are. It certainly helps, but I think that it matters a little bit less from a convenience point of view, unless you create things like what I'm talking about, which is how do we make sure you get a strategic advantage by working with us? Like, we host our event on the pier in Hoboken, Because
Right.
it turns out we have a better view of New York than they do of us, right? So we're looking at this
Or they
thing.
do of themselves.
I'm sorry, that they do of themselves, right? We have a better view from Hoboken than they do. And so we're leveraging a strength of New Jersey there. And so we also need to build up the investment network in New Jersey. We need to make sure that these companies are getting a lot more press, because in other regions they're covered quite a bit more. We need to make sure that the talent understands the opportunities that are here.
I'm sorry for cutting you off there,
Yeah.
because while everyone's innovating, we still have a limited time in public broadcasting. By the way, I just want to clarify, I am dressed appropriately for PBS broadcasting.
I'm probably not.
You're fine. See, we're more accommodating. All good. Listen, Aaron, I wish you all the best at the Tech Council.
Thanks very much. I
And
appreciate
you
it.
joining us and being part of the Innovation Series.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Adubato, dressed appropriately here at NJTV. Let's continue the conversation. Follow me on Twitter at Steve Adubato. I'll make sure we'll see you next week right here on State of Affairs. Thank you.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of State of Affairs with Steve Adubato has been provided by Atlantic Health System, NJIT, the New Jersey Education Association, Valley Bank, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, NJ Best, and by Choose New Jersey. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Globe and by Meadowlands Chamber.